I'm already probably gonna be on a couple of YouTube shorts. Oh, for this?
All right, let's roll through this other stuff, David.
Okay, the one we mentioned was, I think Mr. Holt mentioned it, like Maryland, wanna leave the extra in there to let her do, give raises maybe to her bottom end people. But to go ahead and get the budget where we're at, why don't we go ahead and move the extra money into overtime and then let her just do a transfer? That way we can go ahead and have the budget ready to publish. So Amanda, go ahead and make her 110.
Water.
And then move 33,000 down into additional overtime, when he goes look at that salary sheet, she can remove 32, because I think she's over by 1,000. Will she increase her overtime, extra overtime? Add 32 there, and then go to that current sheet sale.
I guess I am. Thank you.
She'd be $3,446 over zero because of benefits. We want to keep messing with it, make it zero, or leave it there, it's pretty close out there.
So say, leave it there.
Leave it there then.
So let's go down and look at some of these miscellaneous before the judge gets here. Drug court will be the judge. Hey, you want to look at finance?
That's a great idea.
Zero increase. We want to look at it?
Let's look at
I have mine exactly the same as last year, but we can look at it. You told me zero, so I do what I'm told is fine. And if it's really bad, I'll still try to do
it.
it.
Somebody knows how to follow directions.
County clerk, he got his to zero. Register deed, got hers to zero.
Are
Our
they supposed to
planner,
come and see us tomorrow?
the ones that are zero didn't have to, so I think the only thing tomorrow is the nonprofits. Your planner, he went back and his is actually negative 13. The health department has $1,875, it's an increase in the non-salary line item. Do you guys want to go in there and adjust him back down to zero, or leave the 1,875?
Who is that?
Health department.
Health department.
We're okay. I'm okay with it.
Gone down, veteran service has $314. When he hired the girl last year, there's 262 days, he calculated on 261. He accidentally paid her an extra $314 to keep her salary the same, we need $314. Don't really think you probably want to deal with that, but we can.
I think $314 would be less. I honestly believe Mr. Eubanks messed that up.
It was an honest mistake.
I mean,
It was an
not
honest
slight him like.
It was an honest mistake, he divided, because most people don't care, they can't leave years, and he told us that, because we talked to him, try to straighten it out with him, but it's still great. The next one is agriculture extension, they have $300 in non-salary, but they have $6,740, that's because they're transitioning employees to UT. And the way that works is we end up picking their costs as they transition.
Yeah. They get more expensive.
Yeah, we didn't have much choice there.
The only two choices you got is they'll transition, or till UT, you're gonna have full leave. So it's kind of, the next is risk management, two things here, on the
Hey, real quick,
reinsurance fund.
On the last one we were talking about was agriculture. Wasn't one of them close to retiring soon?
We would have to ask Mr. Aries.
I thought, all I was gonna say is just as a thought for all of us, if one retires, I think we might wanna say, since we know we're gonna get stuck absorbing all the costs, we're not gonna rehire that extra person, and that way it's a little less painful. And it's kind of just through attrition that it's disappeared, so that way when UT sticks us a little bit again next year, we're okay.
We'll be okay.
So we're gonna,
Maybe a
I
message
just think I
on
remember
CUT,
something
though.
about.
yeah,
He's
I
saying
thought one of
that.
them, he had said one time that, or they had said that
Mhm.
they.
It does sound familiar.
Yeah.
I don't think it was Bob, though, was it? It may be him, no.
Now, I can't remember who it is, maybe he's the one.
Because he told me he had several years of service, but I don't think he ever mentioned retiring.
Yeah.
Bob just probably got enough.
It does sound familiar from somewhere.
Yeah, but well,
Okay.
at some point if it
You
comes up,
probably
I'm
want to
sure.
replace the director. but-
That's what I was thinking. That's why I'm not sure, because Bob was telling me one time he had enough years to retire, but he didn't know when or what he was going to.
We'll play by ear there.
I'm not
On
sure.
risk management, what were you?
Two things, risk management is a self-insurance fund, so we have a 5% increase because we're estimating that the actual claims next year, especially with COVID, will probably at least go up 5%, and also we buy reinsurance, the estimated from the reinsurers was that there would be a 10%, I believe, on the liability insurance.
Yes.
So this is actual cost plus 10% on the liability reinsurance, 5% on the claims, and I think zero on the OJI or the other one because they estimated it to be the same. That's really tight, we may have to come back in a minute, a few thousand if
Right.
there's adjustment for employees, but I want to leave it that tight, just knowing we may have to come back to keep from inflating our budgets. That's fine. The district attorney general, That is what we pay the state for the employee per the private act. We agreed to match one for the actual, public defender. This is the cost, they're estimating they changed employees, so this is the cost they sent, so it's actually a good thing for us this year.
They're hiring somebody with like, out of college?
I guess they got somebody less experienced, or they're changing the insurance types one. We'll ask them again mid-year, because in the past, before a couple of times it went over, but we're assuming that's probably correct, unless there's a mid-year insurance increase. The rural fire departments, we do need to talk about that. We have a couple of issues. One has not submitted a request. One we know has told us they have not filed a 990 ever. If you've not filed a 990 for 3 years, it's our understanding they revoked your nonprofit status. So probably next year when they come, that's a discussion that was coming down.
Which fire departments are those?
That's number one.
Request for number one fire department sent no, is that the one that sent no request?
It's one in Gallatin down.
Douglas Bend.
Douglas
Shackle
Bend.
Island is the one that hasn't filed it.
Right, Shackle Island's never filed what they told us.
Oh,
Now, should we hold that money until they do file? I mean,
Well, right now, there's two things. We cannot pay it to them, and we're not really supposed to appropriate unless they're nonprofit. So we really need to determine if they're nonprofit. If they're not, what I would recommend that we do until they get it straightened out, you know, you have the 138 last year to make it 450, add 24 more down there and keep your 450.
I think we should do that personally. I
Let's-
don't think that we should cut anything from that line item.
Which I'm saying, add it down to the
Absolutely have to.
138,
Yeah.
and then next year when they get it straightened out, we'll move it up and advertise them. monthly
Or if
property.
they get their nonprofit status in December.
And they may not have revoked it on what we're reading by the regs and the IRS website, generally after 3 years, if you haven't filed, they revoke your status. They told us they don't think they've ever filed, they were honest with us.
Let me suggest that with Miss Leah, get some kind of opinion at stake, because of the one that we wouldn't give money to, it's going to be a disaster, and I'm being conservative with the Hoover, and candidly, it's the busiest one by far.
I was gonna say, it services those schools, it's a big, we can't,
Yeah.
We've got to find out what we got legally and can.
Statute requires them to be a nonprofit, and if they're
I mean, they
not an
service
IRS
that three school
nonprofit, there's not a lot we can
complex.
do.
And they're there
They'll have
frequently.
to become a nonprofit. if they're
David,
not.
on the detail budget, you have both
There's a
number one
record in
and Shackle
Shackle.
Island
Oh, yeah.
Or
highlighted.
Long Hollow.
Which
Yes,
one,
so
and you have the
one-
money out of
One's
it?
not made a request, and I think that's probably an oversight,
Why
and
would
then
you
the
not
other
make
one's
that?
not. So what I would recommend doing for
Yeah,
now
I
They
mean,
don't have a tax
Is going down
They don't have a
here.
tax number to give people.
and
It's a
adding,
write-off donation.
adding 24
But
to
they've
that
got
one, for
to.
that one, remove that one, put 24 more down there.
Legal.
Unless they're just
Yes.
giving their old one.
I have no idea. That's what when he told me that, we were just like,
Has,
it's
So
stupid.
Shackle
I mean,
Island
it's
is
like,
missing
really,
their
you know,
501c.
We're setting one up for a dance. and it's
We
fine.
think, that's what we
Right.
understood from the
We
discussion.
can't find where they filed it.
They said they've never filed it for 30 years. What we required
Have
in the
we-
past, what we required in the past was just where you had your original filing for nonprofit. Well, I knew there was a 3-year requirement, so when we did our last application, the statute says they're nonprofit, so we probably need to get the 990 because that's a requirement.
Wh-
So we put the 990 requirement in last year.
when is the last one that we have documented for a 1099?
We've never, 990,
I mean,
we've never,
1090.
we've never required them before. If they were on the new application, we required them.
Because it just recently came up that every 3 years you're supposed to.
So it
Well, it
could be
says they
true
haven't.
that they've never filed one before.
That's what they think, though. They've never filed once, they've probably lost that status. They probably just need to refile it.
But like I said, I don't know how they're giving out tax letters to people.
With a
Yeah.
tax ID number.
Because they do it all the time and nobody asks the IRS for checks.
They just- they don't
Yeah,
have
but
to
you gotta have
refile
that
it
original
straight out.
number. I could see if you did it at the
Ours
beginning and
probably is
didn't
not
refill
gonna
it.
be
Had it and let it lapse.
And they're
Yeah.
probably, and honestly, the IRS is probably not gonna penalize them or anything. If they straighten it out, it's probably not that hard to straighten out.
In all fairness, if you got a volunteer
Oh, yeah.
organization where people come and go.
No, that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. We can all see how it
Easy to
happened.
get
They
lost.
just need to.
It happens
they
with a
just need to fix
PTO,
it.
just
Yeah.
because it's volunteer and you're
We
like,
should make
nobody
sure they
filed
fix
it
it.
and.
Our whole purpose to get the 990 was because it gives a lot of information that you need for them filing. It was gonna save them a lot of work. Well, when we got the 990, we figured out
Is
we
that
don't have
something you
990.
should send them, we should send them, where we just say, hey,
I think David ought to send it to them, and then if they've got any questions, tell them to contact me. The problem I've run into is I had a tax attorney that I used to get that would volunteer to do this and help them, but he retired.
It's not that hard to do though, because I've set it up for a PTO.
yeah.
990s, and if you're under so much, there's like a short form, but you gotta file it. Unless you're
Yeah.
under, they're definitely open, because we're giving them 24,000.
If nothing else, if they know, we can certainly help them navigate
Yeah.
that.
Well, the thing we can do right now is we put the 24 and 24, make the 450 total. the amount's appropriated, you advertise it later, you move it up, you're not really losing your appropriation.
Did you go with that? And you, nonprofit group?
And there was two or three
Good.
that's not
Sorry,
suppliers.
I'm trying to figure out this
Get
other
off,
thing.
get off TikTok and pay attention.
Can I say something?
I'm here, I'm
Yes,
here.
sir. Go ahead, Mr.
This,
Miss.
and we all know this, but, this is not really fair. You know, we're talking about the one that hadn't filed a nonprofit, and they probably do more calls than anybody.
Mhm.
Then we've got some out there that the station's not even manned, locked up, and they're getting the same money as.
Exactly.
That's all I'm saying.
That's why we have, at some point, CTAS will tell us that they've come up with a finished study, and then we'll be done.
Yeah.
But,
Let's see, that was gonna be my next question.
yeah, well.
Well, they've
Carolina's-
been doing this for 4 years.
They switched dudes. The guy that was first doing it, Kevin, left, and he's with Rutherford County. He's their OEM director or something now. So the new guy's got it, and when Caroline took over, she took over that, so I'll have to check with her about it.
I will say this, I mean, we're kind of stuck anyway,
Yeah.
because if there's no fire service, do you know what would happen to people's insurance
Oh.
rates? None.
I just wish-
It'd go out the
If
stratosphere.
CTAS would ever come out with it, it just would say, here's who you need, here's where you need to stay, you know, fire halls, here's what they need to cover, and then we could at least say, okay, you should get more because you're covering a bigger area.
But it
compared to
is,
somebody else.
like Billy said, and I know I've said this before, it is proportionally super unfair.
Oh, it's horrible.
That a place that gets 2 calls every 10 days versus one that gets 2 calls a day, they're equal.
Well, another thing, the planning commission, developers have been setting aside money for volunteer fire departments. We need to find out where is that money, and are we giving it to the fire departments, or are we not?
I actually-
They're
that came up-
paying it to the fire
Yeah,
department.
that came up because I got a letter from one of them, the subdivisions where they set the homeowners association, they're actually sending a check to whoever is covering for them.
Okay.
And
They're-
see,
they're doing that.
You know, in my
Well,
opinion,
we need to know how much that
Yeah.
is, too.
In my
Not gonna
opinion-
show that.
if that happened under our watch, where we required the
Mhm.
developer to do that and pay them, that money ought to be deducted.
Something.
The idea was to try and generate outside revenue sources for them. That was one of them that would be recurring constantly, but we just started doing it a year ago.
Right.
So, I mean, there's not, it's what, 10 subdivisions I can think of?
It's not many.
Yeah, so, because.
But at some point, we gotta set a rule,
Yeah.
here's what we do going forward.
Well, no, we've done that, but we really thought CTAS would get off their butt and be done by now.
Well, they've had a bunch of people retire.
And that,
You quit.
and
Yeah.
whenever they do, they're gonna say, here's where your fires, here's what your fire zones are. This area covers this, Gallatin covers this for us, Hendersonville covers this for us. And then we said we would even look at so far as if we're gonna do money, you might, in Hendersonville, maybe covered a bunch of it for free. And okay, do you go back, and then you start, then once we had an idea of what was done, we could equitably give the money out based on that.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, sir?
we're not discussing anything with budget right now.
Oh, he's going down the sheet.
Did you?
He's, oh.
Take a break for just a second.
Yeah, we need to take a break.